Hello and welcome to Casting Roles, where a bunch of theater nerds and good friends play little D&D. We're so happy that you've joined us. Take a moment to subscribe to the show. It takes just a click and earns our unending thanks. Drop us a like and leave a comment for Campaign 2. Our videos are uploaded here on YouTube every Friday, and we have tons of great content to explore. We are down a Jace this evening, whatever, when we're recording this. But without further...
It could be morning.
It could be morning. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show. So last time, our crew of adventurers were led by Indira's Joy to the dormitories of the University of the Opal, where you were informed that you had free reign of the compound, but it would be wise not to go to the gardens on the northern side because they were dangerous. Naturally, you all decided to go directly there. Wandering into the hedge maze of the garden, you found yourself beset by the living maze, separated, and fighting to solve a riddle before being destroyed by its challenges. Successfully solving the first rune, you've allowed Tuthalimus, the Sphinx and headmistress of the university, to return to her maze, and she told you of the broken elements of Indira's psyche and where in the area they rested: the basement of the library, the orrery/observatory, and at the heart of the maze. With her help, you returned to the dormitory for an evening meal and rest. And with that in mind, you're all in the dormitory. Food has been provided. There's comforting fires going as the sun is set and the darkness is descending on the valley. And occasionally you do catch sight of like the purplish blue floating eyes of Tuthalimus up on the headmistress's dais, where she's keeping an eye if you would like to talk to her, but otherwise she's allowing you your time and freedom here in the evening. So what would y'all like to do?
Well, Bonnie was promised a bath. Well, to be fair, Bonnie promised herself a bath.
That's true. They did say that there were baths.
Treat yourself.
So Bonnie can go looking for it, or Bonnie knows how to get help if Bonnie would like to.
I think Bonnie's going to go off in search of the baths and not be upset if she gets like lost on the way there and learns more about the place. You know what I mean? Like a light exploration.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check, Bonnie.
Uh-oh.
You asked for this literally.
Okay, a 16.
16's not bad. So you all kind of, after your meal, Bonnie leaves the main entrance of the dormitory area where there's comfortable couches and seating areas and a few round tables where your food was placed, and heads out into one of the dormitory wings. You pass by several rooms. A few of them are open, and you can tell have been freshly, like the sheets have been changed, the pillows plumped, and they have wonderful fragrances coming out of them as fresh flowers have been placed in the rooms for you by the animated servants of the university. And you keep wandering, Bonnie, until you find a stone, like marble-ish stone staircase that half spirals down to a lower floor, where you find a massive stone and mahogany kind of arched doorway. And when you push through it, you suddenly find yourself in a huge room, probably the size of the Great Hall up above, that is just steam kind of drifting off of water, the sound of water funneling into pools as you look around at several kind of terraced hot springs that are flooding over into each other, carefully manicured rock settings around them. There is, when you first enter, a space where you can, like a locker space with towels that are rolled up there for you. And there are several hot springs at your choice here.
she's gonna like make a neat pile of the thing and armor and everything, like very nicely organized, and then just ease into the bath.
Okay. As you
and Miss Harold.
Yeah, as you leave your things behind, like the moment you step away, you hear a sound behind you, and you see like a very small flying like feather duster like stops over your material as you're watching, and then just like slowly descends onto your armor and begins to like carefully like scrub and clean your armor while you're watching. And then as you descend into the bath, now there's 3 terraces of baths here. One at the very top, there's a wooden funnel that's coming out and pouring into it from the side of the rock wall. You think that's probably the source of the heat. So you lower into the bath at the base, and it's a comfortable, warm bath. It's kind of like, you know, like if you pulled a bath at your house, but you can tell it's fresh mineral water, and it's not quite steaming as much as the upper baths are. So if you're looking for something with more heat, the higher up you go into the terrace, the more heat you'll get for Bonnie's rest.
Oh, well, I think she'll warm up to it.
Okay, good.
She'll see how this goes, and then maybe she'll try the upper level.
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me, please.
Could be good, Atwood. It could all be good.
I'm just waiting for it's like your teeth to grow 10 times almost size or so.
No, that's only on a natural 1.
It's a 2 on the d6.
A 2 on the d6. For the next 24 hours, you gain an increase of 3 to your max HP.
Oh, this is great.
See, I told you it's good.
So we know the mechanic outcome. This equates itself in Bonnie's terms to
and there are 2 other baths for you to explore as well. So if you decide to, let me know.
I think her ears do like the
slow droop. Yeah.
Cute.
All right. What are the rest of you all doing?
And you want to have plans?
Let's all speak at once.
All of you, please.
You beat me to it.
I like to hear all the plans simultaneously. So.
I'm gonna finish carving my sword. Do the last 4 hours on that.
Okay, go ahead and roll the tools check just to make sure you don't mess it up as you're working into the final bit.
That's a natural 17 plus whatever.
Good. So over the course of the evening before you go to sleep, Kieran, you effectively finish carving your blade. And it is, it's a gorgeous blade with the careful kind of that slightly translucent quality of the blue along the wooden, silvery, rocky color of the rest of the wood, and it is a gorgeous blade, and it is now available to you. As you're carving, occasionally you'll just hear like a swish sound as like a little like hand broom and duster is under you, like cleaning up the shavings from the floor to make sure that it all stays clean for you.
It's the anal retentive carpenter.
It is,
sketch
yeah.
from Saturday Night Live.
I was expecting a dustbuster next to me.
No. Andalus Rovick.
I don't know if Rovick has any real plans for the evening. I'm just going to enjoy my meal. I'll try to have a conversation with our Sphinx friend.
All right. So you approach, and Andalus, are you working on your trinket?
I'm gonna sit with Kieran, Mr. Kieran, and I will he is also carving something, so he's carving with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Kieran will happily share his woodworking tools.
Please, I have wide eyes for any advice you give me.
So 2 carving in the corner with now 2 dustbins, quickly
Taking the
cleaning up the mess.
Yeah.
As Rovick approaches the dais for the faculty, which has multiple seats, a long table on it where the faculty could sit and kind of look out over the Great Hall. But now it is currently empty, save the floating eyes of Tthalimus. And you approach Rovick, and as you get close, the eyes kind of like drift down from where they were like 12 feet up in the air, and they kind of drift down towards, like 5 or 6 feet high, and then suddenly like waving across, Tthalimus's whole form comes into being. She's sitting with her paws crossed in front of her, her head kind of like low down to your area, and she kind of looks at you. Ah, Rovick. Lovely to see you again.
Lovely to see you as well. Good evening, Tthalimus. Have you had a chance to have anything to eat since we've gotten back?
Oh, I did some eating before the garden, so I'm quite full, thank you.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly does a Sphinx consume?
Whatever she wants to.
That's fair. That's fair. I should have assumed that. I just want to take a moment and say thank you. We appreciate you helping us out in the garden back there. We had a fair warning, but we kind of got in over our heads a bit for a while, so we appreciate you.
Well, I only returned the favor for freeing a section of my maze, returned an element of my power to me, and so I would rather see you stay alive to return the rest.
Well, I can't assume I speak for the rest of my party, but I think they share the same sentiment. We'd be happy to help you out with the rest of it. I'm just curious, if you don't mind indulging me for a moment. We came here from Illyria, the main continent, and our ship got shot down. The blasts are extremely similar to some of the turrets that were used in the garden near the fountain.
As you talk, she kind of like stretches out, kind of arching her back a little bit, and she stands and then sits on her haunches and then kind of like looks at her claws and picks at them a little bit and then kind of looks at you. Well, then that means that the security system is working properly.
Fires on all ships that come near the continent?
Well, I imagine that it fires on anything that could pose a threat to Highwall, and outsiders are known to bring their own challenges to any location, are they not?
Challenges and sometimes benefits, I would argue, but you're far wiser than me when it comes to these types of things, I would assume.
Oh, I do not control the security measures. Those are Indira's workings. And now that you've met her, why would she think that you look like a threat?
I'm sure that not everyone on that ship came with intentions that were completely pure. But I don't know if that means everyone on the ship deserves to be shot down and killed.
Well, I think you may find that in her current state, Indira sees everything as danger.
Yeah, well, I was hoping maybe you could give us some insight into helping to rejoin her different aspects. I think it'd be a lot better for a full Indira to negotiate with the folks coming to the continent instead of just shooting everyone down.
Well,
a lot of lives will be lost that way.
She does have current control over 4 of her simulacrum. The other remaining 3 are outside of her control, meaning outside of the tower. In order to bring them to heal, to repair the shattering that took place, returning them to the tower should suffice.
So we can get them back to the tower, and Dura can exercise some level of control over them.
She kind of like stretches a paw out in your direction. Then you can see like her sharp kind of claws like come out of the pads for a second in your direction. And then she kind of closes them a little bit. Well, I think that is the logical result. Restrain them and return them to the tower. Do not damage or destroy them, of course, because once shattered, a psyche is very difficult to put back together when you are missing pieces.
That makes perfect sense. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think we can come up with a plan to execute knowing just that little piece of information.
I have a question for you then, Rovick.
Well, by all means, go right ahead.
Is this form terrifying to you? And her face kind of like gets very close to yours as she's asking.
Actually, I was going to mention that I'm quite interested in what the life of a Sphinx is like. I've seen some pretty terrifying things on the open seas, and honestly, you are a specimen to behold.
Is there a Mrs. Rovick Seymour?
I am not a specimen. I am singular. What is the life of a Sphinx like? Well, ancient, powerful.
Oh.
Your lives are such brief blips in our understanding of things. But you didn't answer my question.
Is this form terrifying? Was it?
Yes. You remembered?
I would say gloriously terrifying, if I'm honest.
Good answer. Now, there is something at the forefront of your mind. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Ooh, she's gonna.
Not a charisma?
Nope.
It's okay. Let me roll and I'll see what. I think I'm good at wisdoms. Ooh, an 18 on the die. Plus a 22 plus 4.
Oh, wait. Now I have her updated stat block. I have to check something really quick.
Oh my gosh.
Because
This is either good or bad.
no,
I know, right?
they changed the stat block for
Yeah.
the
I got the
Sphinx.
monster manual right here.
I don't know who's looking at it.
Let's see.
There's the appendix.
She is. Oh Lord. Okay. Where is the?
Yes, 100% correct.
Let's see. Oh, there. So they're now called Sphinx. The Gynosphinxes are now called Sphinxes of Lore, I believe. You said 18. What was your saving throw?
22.
22.
18 on the dice plus 4.
Okay. So it's successful. And she goes, you have quite the strong mind to resist such probing, refuse.
What type of probing were you hinting at?
My favorite
I mean-
kind.
Well, if you would just come out with it, I might be open to a probe from someone such as yourself.
She smiles. No one has tried to bring such charisma to a conversation since my late husband. Well, there is a form. You say that mine is singular and terrifying. In your mind,
glorious,
there is...
glorious and terrifying.
Glorious and terrifying. Singular was my word, of course. There is a form in your mind that I can see that I think scares you more. Would you like to see it?
That's not really what I was hoping this conversation would lead to. Fear isn't really the emotion that I was hoping to stoke here.
Perhaps it is awe instead of fear.
There is a bit of awe that I feel tingling about me right about now. Yeah, I'd say that's accurate.
And suddenly her form begins to shift, and her face, the kind of human lioness looking face, she begins to change as her body shrinks a little bit, and then stepping out of a kind of puff of magic, a woman, slightly tall, dark skin with like when the light hits it, there's a bluish tint to the skin, braided hair with shells and beads in the hair, wearing a dress. Why does this form give you such pause? And standing in front of you, Rovick, is a vision of your mother.
Why would you choose to take that form from me?
I am quite interested in the inner workings of mortal brains, and you are quite fixated on this.
Well, that's surprising to me, because with us mortals being such simplistic creatures compared to a Sphinx, I wouldn't think you would find much interest in what's going on in our heads.
All the knowledge ever recorded was written down by mortal hands because only you saw the power in recording the things that immortal beings would never soon forget. There's great power in the mortal mind.
Well, maybe that's a mystery that we could touch on another time. After all, we're just now getting to know each other, right? There's so many of us to discover about one another.
Well, I apologize if I created something disquieting for you. It's always nice to see in the eyes of someone the response that they might have to a mystery.
Nope, not at all. I love a woman who gives me a bit of a challenge. At the end of the day, that's
her form changes and the vision of your mother fades. And she just becomes a mostly nondescript, beautiful woman, tall, kind of tannish brown skin, her hair kind of pulled back in a bun, but her eyes still violet and kind of piercing as she says, I think maneuvering amongst you, this might offer a better vision than the body of a sphinx may.
I didn't object to the previous Sphinx form, but this is quite nice as well.
Well, anything else that I can help you with?
Maybe just keep me company until it's time for bed, huh? If that's not too much to ask.
Are you a game player?
Well, I play all types of games, man.
She waves a hand, and before her, a deck of cards appears.
What game do you have in mind? I learned plenty of them.
Well, it depends. Are you looking for something that is congenial, or something a little more challenging?
I always love a challenge now.
Well, she throws out her hand,
rummy or,
and the deck deals 3 cards in front of you and 3 cards in front of her. Have you ever played a little Sphinx poker?
I can't say I'm familiar with that version of poker.
I'd be surprised I invented the game. Well, I suppose if you'd like a challenge, we can put a wager on the table. How about if you win, I will tell you everything that I know about your patron. And if I win, you give me her name.
Her name? Well, I'm never one to back away from a good, honest bet.
Right.
Cards are on the table. Why not?
So for this, for the first card, roll a d4. Do not tell me the number.
Not tell you the number on a D4.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get this D4 out of the thing. Okay. Big money, no whammies. Okay, all right.
This is effectively going to be a game of 21. Your goal is to get as close to 21 as possible. The first die is a 4. The second die is an 8. So that gives you a potential maximum of 12. And then the third die is a d12. So that's a potential maximum of 24. So you can break, but your goal is to try to get as close to 21 as possible.
Okay.
But
should I write them down? Or?
No. So if you feel like you're going to break, you can choose not to roll the third die.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can convince her that you haven't broken and she pulls out, then you win.
Box.
Okay. So then she kind of looks at the first one. And then the second card is a D8.
I love blackjack.
D8. That's a D10. That's a D10. That's a D8. Not bad. I still. Okay.
Got it. D8 is the double pyramid.
Is it? Yes.
Double pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
The irony of Abel hating the gambling place last time, and here we are.
Is that
The irony of Abel cheating at the gambling.
That's true.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Well, I guess you
Okay.
could cheat.
That's what you want me to.
It is perfectly perfectly possible for you to cheat if, like, on your final roll, like, you would like to somehow try to trick another card into your hand or something. You can, knowing that she's fairly perceptive.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I like a bad idea, though. You know, it's just fun.
Okay.
I love that idea.
She is going to choose to reveal.
I took a picture of the first two.
Okay. She's going to choose to reveal her third card to herself. So she is going to roll for the third card. And she's going to. Well, I think the game may be in my favor.
I think so.
Are you going to roll the third die?
Yes, and it was a D10?
A D12.
A D12?
Mm-hmm.
That's a 10, that's a 12 right there. Yeah. Yep, I'm going to roll the third die.
I'm so tense.
I know.
I'm not realizing when I wrote these rules, I could have just had you roll D12s.
Yep.
This is the drama. It's for the drama.
I like
Okay.
going up. I think it's a cool
It is,
All right.
please.
I'm okay. What do I just tell you what I rolled or?
Okay. So she flips over her cards and you see 19.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, so
I got a 12 on a D12, a 6 on a D8, and a 1 on a D4.
19, you all tied.
Oh my god.
Yep.
And so she said,
Oh
and
my
so she goes,
God.
well,
I mean, we both
tied.
reveal
That's
what we know.
so unfortunate. We can play another round if you'd like to say the same wager.
I feel that if we both hide, there are no losers in this one. We couldn't both give up a little something, and both of us walk away satisfied.
Make a
Still want a
persuasion
little
check.
bit more. Oh, wow, quite expensive.
I never like to be left wanting for more.
It's just a chance to come back and have more fun, especially when you know it was fun the first time. Persuasion.
Yes.
Ooh, this is gonna be. We're in my wheelhouse now, buddy. 11 on the dice, so a 19.
19.
Yeah.
She says, well, if you're in the sharing mood, then I suppose that I can be also.
I'm more than willing to share with you, darling.
Didn't like that.
You can just tell me what you like, and I'll make sure to deliver.
I'd like to know who you really are beyond the bravado.
On the bravado, I think we become who we need to be. At the end of the day, I've worn many masks and many costumes, but I always seem to fall into the role that I need in the moment.
Are you ever afraid that you'll forget the real you behind all of those masks?
I think after all these years wearing the masks, that sort of become the real me, you know?
Well,
Would a chameleon say that they're not their real self just because they can blend in when they need to?
yes, until the chameleon forgets what its true colors really are.
When your colors can be whatever you need them to be, I don't know if that's the most important thing.
Well, how about this? Enjoy your evening. Come back by for a nightcap, and I'll tell you what I know of Albahar.
I will be sure to do just that.
And the name?
Why don't we save the name for our nightcap? A little incentive for you to open the door when I come knocking.
Her visage, like the cards vanish from the table. Her visage begins to vanish from the feet up. And the last thing to go are those two floating purple eyes that are just kind of looking at you. And then I hope you have a hearty constitution. And then the eyes blink out.
Bow chicka bow now.
I feel like when you wander, I feel like you wander back in and you see us and we're like, hey, do you want to carve wood with us? Oh, hello,
Absolutely. Hey, listen,
okay.
and do a side.
Yeah, I'm listening.
You have anything in your little witchy toolbox that'll keep me from falling flat on my ass after drinking a lot? Just something that'll keep me going through the night. You know what I mean? Just
let me see.
a good stimulant type of.
Second. Let me
Don't
see
ask
how
too
this
many
spell.
questions.
Hold on, I got a new spell. Let me see how it works.
You mentioned Constitution, and I just think that's really a strong suit of.
Why do you need this?
No. Constitution to maintain concentration. I reckon I have to concentrate in this one. Sorry, that's. I just have some plans later on tonight. Listen, if you're a real friend, you'll just help me out with this one, okay?
Hey, I owe you one. You don't have to. You don't have to doubt me. But I don't think I really have anything that can help you that much.
Well,
Do you have she? I'm trying to see if there's anything I can replace your talents with. I didn't pick spells that were like don't get Rovick drunk spells today. Sorry.
Send Dottie.
I've got this vial of ether dust. Have no idea what it does.
ether dust.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can give you
like-
stuff that could heal you later. But
Rovick gets coked up on ether dust. Shifts into a
So it
different
sounds like a
dimension.
good way to start a party.
I mean, you currently have the shield one, but I could craft you a different one. I have detect thoughts right now. Here, I'll tell you what I have. I can tell you what I can put in this thing. I think I can only put level 1 spells in my talismans though, or in my tokens. One moment. This
I
is.
don't have any like.
Oh yeah, I can only put level 1 spells. So you can have Witch's Grasp, Shield, Fog Cloud, Detect Poison and Disease. That's all I got for you right now.
Poison or disease.
Oh wait, I have Bark Skin and Entangle too. And I have
Entangle,
Goodberry.
like-
And I have Goodberry. If you want to find a Goodberry in the middle of your
Yeah, I was gonna say entangle might make the evening interesting, but whatever. I'll just have to wing it and hope that a warlock can keep up with a sphinx in this situation. All right.
What? What?
Nothing. I'm just gonna hit the
okay.
bass really quickly.
Oh, you
and,
mean
freshen up.
You mean metaphorically? Got it.
I mean, whatever it is, your brain made sense of that. That's where we're gonna leave it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna hit the bass really quickly, and I'll ask Bonnie to scrub my back, make sure I'm nice and
She's
fresh.
probably good at that. She's really strong.
You're going to join the bunny bath?
Oh, well, desperate times. Kieran,
I'm sure Bonnie with
that wood's looking really
30
good right
children
now. But,
has washed a child before, so.
well, maybe that's what I
And he
need.
winks at you when he says
Thorough
that.
touch. That's not really the direction I'm leaning tonight, but that's all right. You kind of get my gist. You kids have a good night with your wood. It's curing. It's looking good. And I like the.
I'm glad someone made the.
I like.
I was
the new
like,
blade. And Rovick's gonna rush off and freshen up for his evening.
Rovick is really committed to solving the mystery here. I'm so proud of him.
He is committed to seeking knowledge.
Yeah, I think he's seeking
plumbing
knowledge
the
too.
depths of knowledge.
Oh,
He's investigating the cavernous
Some really-
maw
It's
of
a hard
knowledge.
job, but someone needs to do it.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Well, don't worry, he's the thickest
Over
guy I
and
know.
over again, if necessary.
Bonnie!
I'm sorry. You're right. I shouldn't call him dumb.
What
I'm
is
sorry.
ether dust? I have never.
You guys, so you collected some and Kieran collected some.
I did.
It was the powder, but you guys don't know what it is. You don't know what it does.
Hey, don't
Salt
snort it
shaker
with
half
his
full of
face,
ether
please.
dust. Quart of tequila, quart of rum, case of beer.
What would Hunter S. Thompson do?
He would snort the ether dust.
We know.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say it would have been already in his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, you may go back in time. It
It's
could,
true. Yeah.
Like the second
know.
he saw it, it would have just been.
Bonnie, do you move up to any of the other baths?
Yes, second level.
Okay, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay.
As you go to dip into it, and it is noticeably warmer. Yeah.
Okay. Good thing I am proficient. Good thing I am 14.
14. So the heat is noticeably hotter. You can feel it feels like roasting your skin a little bit as you dip into it. And it is uncomfortable, but you're able to kind of power through. Go ahead and roll a D8 for me, please.
Kind of baths that would takes.
It's true though. It's like you lose this many hit points next. That's a 7.
A 7. Okay, so for the next 24 hours, so in addition to the 3 max HP that you currently have, with a 7, okay, your first spell slot of the day, you can cast at a level higher than it actually, so if it's a first level spell, it would cast as a second level.
Yeah, I ain't going up. I'm not going to try to double my money. I know how this works. I've played 3-card Monty. The third one is where they get you.
What's the worst that could happen? Well, funny you should ask that.
Funny that you should ask. As you're resting, Bonnie, at some point, Rovick enters the bath as well. And Rovick, you see Bonnie up on the second terrace level, kind of uncomfortably sitting in a fairly warm bath.
I think you don't. I think you don't even see Bonnie. It's just the ears over the lip of the
Yeah, just dripping off the side. Yeah.
No, I'll just I'll give Bonnie their privacy and just ease into the first level.
Okay.
Bath.
So you kind of are resting in the bath. It is warm. Cleansing the minerals are healing. Go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
Oh, I forgot. Oh. Using all my little gold dice today. A 6.
A 6. Okay, so that's also even. So you gain your max HP increases by 2 for the next 24 hours.
Ooh, that's pretty
Make
good.
the difference.
It can. Odds is advantage on Constitution saving throws for the remainder of the day, so that would have been the better one, but for you, but
I gotta water down my drinks tonight.
Yeah.
That's
just step out and back in. Just in and out. Just in and out.
you can only benefit from the hot springs once per day. For each hot spring once per day.
Come up to the second level. Maybe you'll get an odd.
All right.
yeah, I'll travel up. Why not? Just
Okay.
Yeah.
You go up to join Bonnie in the second bath. Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Appeal to that gambler's instincts.
Rovick can't help himself. Well, how's the night going, Bonnie? That is
Thank you. It's so good to see you.
I
so
should
4
say,
on the dice.
Oh, so that's also even. So
Yeah.
a 4. Oh no, Bonnie got a 7 on the last one. Okay, you are resistant to fire damage for the next 24 hours.
Sorry, Bonnie, what were you saying?
It's so good to see you tonight, Rovick. This bath is so invigorating.
I noticed as soon as my behind hit that first level, I just got a surge, you know, like I was a new man. So I thought I'd go ahead and climb up a little higher.
you're right, Rob.
Did you make the Constitution saving throw?
I had to make a con save?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
I thought I asked that, and then I realized I might not have asked that.
I wasn't going to say
Ronnie's
anything.
judicious pause where you could insert any number of words, and my brain is just rolodexing through all the things that you could possibly have said.
That was not a D20. What was that? That was like a D12. A D20. Oh, 16 plus something.
So you're fine. The resistance goes through. You're not negatively affected.
19.
I should say Bonnie's not shy. Like she's just there hanging out, but like you can see she is like torso especially, she is like heavily scarred.
Yeah.
Like there's like 2 or 3 like broad slashes that look like they were delivered from like swords, and like just above her sternum on the left side, and it's like I don't know if you'd be able to tell Rovick, but if you made like a medicine check maybe, but it was it's an exit wound, not an entry wound. And
Gotcha. I think Rovick is definitely, with his time on different pirating ships, he's met some pretty rough and tumble folks. And he knows that there's
star stories or something. It's like, I got this from a squid, or
yeah, but it's probably one of those things where, like, you know, don't ask One-Eyed Pete about his missing eye unless he like brings it up. So Rovick will definitely not like. It's like, oh my God, Bonnie, what happened to you? But I'll say, you know what, Bonnie, I don't think we've ever had a chance to actually just sit down and really get to know each other. And I take it you're the type of lady that you got some pretty interesting life lessons you could impart upon a young man like me. I got to get you in a bar one night and get a few drinks in you. See what you're willing to share.
I would love to talk with you, Rovick, but I don't drink.
Oh, well, see, right there. That's one thing I learned about you. And all it took was a warm bath and no clothes between us to get that out of you. Okay.
Well, I'm not, there's nothing to be ashamed of your body.
Oh. I let go of those hang-ups a long time ago, Miss Bonnie. I tell you that right now.
Me too, Rovick. It shows good emotional maturity.
I agree. Well, Rovick is not shy about the nudity. He's definitely averting his eyes a bit, just out of respect, keeping the work relationship as professional as possible.
What do you think of our Sphinx friend?
I think our Sphinx friend is quite lovely, and I just feel a very friendly and approachable air coming from from her. So hopefully that's something that get to explore a lot closer.
Well, I certainly think you should take that opportunity, Rovick. In fact, if you're not busy tonight, I think you should go over and talk to her.
Yeah, I'll take your advice, Miss Bonnie. I definitely will. I think that's something I'll definitely make an attempt at.
Sorry, I had to.
No, it's
like it's such the mother thing to do. Is like give you the nice piece of advice far after you've learned the lesson on your own.
Yes.
Ace, I'm having flashbacks to Toshiro in the bath.
His bath. I always love that. I think about it all the time.
Yeah. Onsen culture. Let's go.
I want to go to the one in the mountains. Apparently, there's one in like up in Appalachia somewhere.
Really?
North Carolina. Sorry, tangent.
No,
Back
that's
to-
good.
no.
Knowing that you are getting this benefit from the baths, do you all inform your other party members of the opportunity presented to them?
Bonnie would tell them after she was done, but that's probably not going to be for another hour or so.
Okay. Yeah. As you, Rovick, do you chance the third bath?
I would have felt the
You have fire resistance. I feel like that should help you somehow in this next one.
I don't know, is that the way that works?
I mean,
I don't know. No one's tested the third one yet.
No one says that.
no,
Don't listen to him, but also just a little bit listen to him.
It's an ice bath.
it's just cold.
Exactly.
It's just
freeze off
Yeah, it does
the
nothing.
bits I need. Rovick is a gambling man, but he also knows when to cash in and head home. So I'm going to enjoy the soak in this bath and chat Bonnie up a bit until it's time to call it.
Okay. So eventually, Bonnie and Rovick kind of finish up their time in the bath and return up to the top. Kieran and Andalus, as you guys finish up your crafting for the evening, Bonnie and Rovick return back up towards the great room, and you are all together for a moment at least.
Hello. How was your bath?
Oh, it was just the best. You have to go down there. It's so invigorating. Well, actually, now that I say that, I don't. Can you take baths in Duelicite?
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
just
just sink,
curious.
I just sink to the bottom, so I don't really like doing it.
It was only like
okay.
3 feet deep, Bonnie.
I know. I still don't like. I'd rather stand in the rain most of the time
I can understand that.
than like actively.
Yeah,
I also
yeah.
don't. I mean, I don't sweat or anything. Like, sometimes they get muddy.
Well, if you ever need any help cleaning or getting you don't rust, do you? Sorry, I've asked.
You see, he looks.
I've
He
asked
like
you
narrows his
questions.
eyes as if this thought has never crossed his mind.
You don't have to answer. I've asked you questions, which is one
I
more
don't
than I
know.
promised I would ever ask you in a day, and that was very rude of me, and I hope you'll accept my apology, Andulicite.
Kieran, you are well versed in metal. Andalus is made of platinum, so there's no rusting happening here.
I will let Andulicite know that later on the side, so there's no embarrassment.
It's fine, Bonnie. You can ask me questions.
Yes, babe.
I just might not answer them, so it's okay.
I just want to be respectful, and I'm sorry if I walked past a line that I promised I wouldn't cross. I know how important that is to you.
No, I mean, I didn't tell you guys about it anyway, so.
It's good that we know one way or the other.
I guess so.
But Kieran, you should definitely go. I just feel like a new woman after that bath. Isn't that right, Rovick?
Completely agree, Kieran. If you can make some time tonight, I would definitely hit the baths up. Listen to Bonnie in this one.
There are no hit the baths.
I'm gonna continue to carve my thing, Josh. How many hours? So if I carve through lunch and I'm carving this bit, because I need to hit 24 hours to
You're
carve
probably by the time you go to sleep, without.
Because I only need 6 hours of
You only
sleep.
need 6 hours of sleep. So you're probably looking at like a total of 8 hours so far, I think, by the time it's time for you to go to sleep.
That works for me.
Yep.
That works for me.
So
I mean, as I'm talking to all of you, I'm like still carving it. Like I'm not breaking eye contact, but I'm perfectly dexterously carving.
Yeah. It's like like
Kira,
a printer.
you're an amphibian, right?
Yeah.
That's like the
Partially amphibious.
Yeah.
okay. So Bonnie like watches Kieran like leave and like waits a minute, and she's like, "Boy, I really hope it's not like that proverb with the frogs and the boiling water that I keep hearing about."
Kira, for the first one, go ahead and make a D6 roll for me, please.
You don't need to do a con save first?
Not the first bath. There's no save. Yeah.
The first one's always free.
Yes.
1.
One. That is odd. So you have advantage on Constitution saving throws for the
Go
next
see the Sphinx.
day. Do you take the second bath as well?
Oh, I'm going for all 3, baby.
Oh wow. Okay. Go ahead and make a Constitution
no.
saving throw for the second one.
It's
Nice.
gonna happen. The frog's
22.
gonna boil.
22. Okay. Roll a D8 for me.
D8.
Oh god.
5.
Okay, and you are not a spellcaster. Oh, okay.
Not even.
Yeah, no. So, you're
Wait, you're a spellcaster?
not a. I said not
I'm
a
not.
spellcaster.
That's what I said.
I have two charts. Like one affects spellcasters, one affects non-spellcasters. So for the next 24 hours, your first attack against any enemy is with advantage.
Ooh.
Bonnie would also tell Lucky, but we'll.
I asked Jace if Lucky would take part in the hot spring, so they'll have a chance to roll if they decide to. And then the third bath,
Third one.
yeah, making another Constitution saving throw.
19.
19. That is beats the DC by 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't do it.
Roll a D12 for me.
Wow.
And 18's a big,
Well,
big.
Yes.
another 5.
A 5. Oh, okay. So for the next 24 hours, you can your standard damage die is increased to the next level on your attack. So you do D6 damage instead of D4.
Nice.
Yeah, considering I'm roll a massive D4 every time I hit something.
And you feel, Kieran, as you're doing it, that like you get the sense that the next time if you were to go through this process again, like the next day, that it would be more complicated. Like this is an exhausting process. If you did it the next day, it's like you wouldn't fully recover from it. So for gameplay purposes, if you do it 2 days in a row, the DC is higher the second day.
Yeah.
Boy, Kira just gets out of this like glistening. It's like he's gonna come back to the room like he's shampooed with mop and
He's
glow.
been diving. He is like sunk completely underwater because he can breathe underwater for an hour.
Yeah, but Kieran comes out and it is purple.
No.
All right. Anybody doing anything else with your evening before you find your rooms and bed down?
Bonnie is going to do some like, I guess, clothes and armor maintenance.
Okay.
Like just general like polishing the staff and no pun intended.
There's a lot of that happening.
A lot of that happening. But yeah, like fixing any tears or rips in her tabard and clothing and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you do notice that after you got out of the bath, that your armor and clothing was like free of dirt and debris.
Oh,
That and all of you, so Rovick and Kieran, you also noticed that about your clothing as well. So like the duster was able to clean your clothes. It wasn't able to repair your clothes. So you spend the remainder of your time in the evening probably sitting near Andalus as Andalus is carving.
I was just saying, and Andalus has like his sewing kit too.
Oh, you're helping.
Anytime you have trouble, we swap, and you craft a little, and then I sew something, and we swap back.
In my mind, it's literally just like we're spending more time doing the other person's projects because Bonnie's proficient with carpenter's tools.
Well, this is just my. I don't think I have to use carpenter's tool for it. But I think I just use any of my artisan's tools for it.
I love how Bonnie's had like 30-some kids and she still sucks at sewing.
Yeah, I have mending, so I'm not even like actively helping you that much.
Yeah,
Bonnie just asks for help and you just like gesture in the direction.
Yeah. Mend a little as I go.
Moms don't have to be perfect at everything. They can.
No, just as long as as long as the blown out knees and the jeans get patched, it can look like whatever.
Absolutely. All right.
It just adds character.
Yep.
Well, yeah, like heck, Maria made the clothes out of drapes for God's sakes. So
saw it hanging in the window and just couldn't resist.
What is her name?
Carol Burnett.
Carol Burnett, yeah.
Carol Burnett cut went with the wind.
Yeah. Designed by Bob Mackey.
So Bonnie and Andalus finish up your cleaning and your crafting for what you can complete for the evening. Kieran, anything else for your evening before you bed down?
Like I said, at some point when Andulicide is by themselves, he'll let them know that they do not rust.
So.
I knew that. I just got stressed out in the moment.
Okay.
I did. It was like I knew that, but then when she said it, I said maybe. But I know how metal works. Yeah.
I know.
Thank you, though.
Too right.
And as you go to bed, Kieran and Bonnie, you do find like you each have your own chambers. Beautifully constructed. The bed is it's almost like it reads your intentions. And so it has the exact amount of either firmness or softness that you would think is perfect in a bed. And the covers are not overwhelming. They keep you the exact right temperature. It is a magic school, and these are magic furnishings that fulfill the needs of the user in exactly the way they need to.
Bonnie's like in awe, like a lifetime of like doing laundry and like caring for kids, and it's like it's all done automatically. She's just like, what have I done with my life? Like,
I need to get one of these.
Yeah, this existed the whole time, 20 years of my life.
Yeah, if only you had a Roomba.
Yeah. You see, like, Angelus just sits like straight up in bed. Now that he doesn't have to pretend he's not a robot, he's just sitting in the middle of the bed.
He's like how
carving.
Sits in the corner.
No, he's like how Witcher sleeps. Witcher passes time. That's literally like Angelus at the bed.
Doesn't have to sleep. Yeah. But as all of your compatriots go off to sleep, Rovick, you are free to go to your chambers. Or
wait, do we all have a room together, or do
no? So like you're each.
We have separate rooms.
Yeah,
right?
There's like a hallway, and there are 5 rooms on the hallway that have been reserved for each of you.
Okay.
Or one for
I was just seeing if I clocked it. No worries.
Yeah.
Make a stealth check. Just kidding.
No, I'm gonna ring the bell actually and ask for help, and I'm gonna ask the servant to bring me whatever drink a Sphinx would find luxurious and enjoyable.
Okay, so you go to ring the bell, and just a moment after you ring the bell, like you hear a voice next to you, and it says, "Oh yes, Rovick, what can I do for you this evening?" And Indira's Joy is standing there next to you.
Yeah, I need a bit of assistance. I need something that our Sphinx friend would enjoy as far as a late night drink. Whatever it is, a Sphinx would say is a luxurious nightcap.
Well, I assume that you mean Tuthalimus, as she is the only Sphinx on the grounds, unless her husband isn't here, is he?
Husband.
What?
We
already knew she had a husband, guys.
How did I
She mentioned that her husband wasn't in the picture. What exactly is the situation with that?
Oh, well, there are two Sphinxes that call Highwall home, and Tuthalimus and he were an item for some time, but kind of on a rocky element of the relationship at this moment. Perhaps not together anymore? I do not know. But he is not here, so it is Tuthalimus you're asking about?
I never said a name. I was just asking hypothetically if Sphinx would drink.
Well, it matters. Tuthalimus loves to drink red wine, but her husband, a former husband, I do not quite know. His favorite beverage is unicorn blood.
Unicorn blood? Oh. That's not terrifying. Okay, so that is good to know. I appreciate you telling me. Just why don't you bring me some nice red wine for myself to enjoy? You don't follow us around the premises, and just if you'll bring me some nice quality red wine, I appreciate
I will happily provide Tuthalimus's favorite vintage for you as well. I would good luck. And she disappears for a moment, and then
I never said to that, just so you know.
And then she returns, and she says, "Well, here is a bottle, and there's a dusty, like there's dust on it, like this has been away in a somewhere for 200 years. But it is the nicest vintage that she could find of red wine, and she hands it off to you. I do think that it may be beneficial for you as a friend of Indira's, I hope. Know that Visnutma, he has a wonderful sense of smell.
Oh, okay. Well, friends can drink wine together. Joy, it's not a indictment of anything unsavory going on. Just keep this between us, please. Thank you.
Oh,
unless
it is not my place, of course.
But unless you're specifically asked, and then you can tell anyone who might inquire, including a large male sphinx that drinks unicorn blood, that you are certain that it was simply a conversation that was held between myself and them. Can you do that for me?
Of course. The senses often can overpower a lie, but
a lie. Well, it's not a lie if, as far as you know, that's all that went on. Correct?
Of course. And can I get you anything else for the evening?
A will.
If you know of any way to incapacitate a sphinx that's angry with rage and vengeance, just...
I do not have that information. The library may possess tomes that could give you some information about sphinxes, of course.
In that case, you have a good evening. Thank you.
All right. And then she's gone.
All right, Robert's gonna.
No, Rovick. don't let your wiener do the walking thing, man.
How often do you get to fuck a Sphinx in D&D? Okay, let the man live. Let him do whatever he wants and whatever he
hours.
Rovick's having to pull the weight for our non-existent bard.
That's true.
Look, Jerry had no game, okay? So let him flourish.
Let him cook.
Her husband's name,
or the ex-husband?
Visnutman.
Late husband. Late husband is what she said.
She said late husband.
Late husband.
Indira's Joy has said ex-husband or maybe ex-husband.
Very different things, Josh. Don't think it implies.
Indira's Joy also still thinks the veil is up.
That's true.
That also means that they've been broken up that long. I don't know. There's a lot to consider about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time that's passed.
But what is time to a Sphinx?
Okay.
Who's to say that Rovick won't run into Fizmon and seduce him as well?
Come out of this. Like, he already made up his mind. He's got red wine. You think he's not going to go down there? What the hell are you talking about?
He's got red wine and red flags. There are more red flags than a Mayday parade now.
He's not asking her to marry him, Atwood.
This is literally a cougar. A Sphinx is literally a cougar at this point. So it's good.
Yes. It's like the angel and devil on your shoulder, but it's the opposite of our characters.
We're picking this boy out of the carpet come the morning.
His decision, okay? He's allowed to do that.
And I feel like Rovick will be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna straighten up my attire in the mirror and head on out to find Pythagoras' quarters.
So as soon as you like leave your chambers after getting dressed, you see on the floor. Coming out of your chamber, there are like petals of some kind of flower that are gently like floating above the floor. And they are leading down towards another hallway and then to a staircase that goes upstairs to where the staff rooms would be, and not in her chambers, but sitting out in like the staff hall, which is a smaller version of the Great Hall, has a fireplace, a beautiful couch, and sitting on one of the couches is Tithaliamus, but in that human form that she'd taken on. And in her lap, she is petting a small cat-like creature that is like bluish with like white and pink and blue or purple like swirls and stripes all over it. And it has small little wings that are tucked against its sides. And she's petting it a little bit as you approach, and she goes, well, I hope that the petals would not too much, but I figured you probably would need to know how to get to the upper chambers.
No, actually, I found them to be a very tasteful touch. Appreciate it. That way I wouldn't wander off and lose my way.
Well, there are only two paths through the dormitory, so if you had lost your way, I would have been quite disappointed.
Oh, not nearly as disappointed as I would have been. How's your evening going so far?
Quite lovely. I had a good meal. Had good conversation.
What a coincidence. I got to experience the same.
Well, the hospitality of the valley is well known, of course.
I feel that completely. I thought if I was going to be visiting you this late, I might as well bring a gift. And I brought this bottle here. Hopefully it's to your liking. And I show her the vintage bottle of wine I had Joy fetch.
Joy is still going into the old cellar, it seems. Well, and she kind of waves a hand, and like two glasses appear on the table in front of her, and the bottle like lifts out of your hand, and the cork pops out. And then it floats over to the 2 glasses and pours out 2 glasses of wine and then settles down on the table next to her. Why don't you have a seat? She kind of references to there's the couch, like the seating next to her, and then there's also like an armchair as well. You don't get the sense like she's gesturing in the general direction of sitting down.
Excuse me. I would be glad to. You are a mesmerizing woman. Sphinx? Creature?
Didn't like that. I am not right now what I always am. So for you to call me in this visage mesmerizing is slightly a drawback, I think.
I think it's more than just the shape that you hold. I think it's the complete essence of your specimen.
Wow.
That's really it.
The mind is the most important part, of course, and yours holds so many mysteries.
You are really working to uncover the mysteries of Rovick. Rovick Seaborn, aren't you?
Well, I have not had the pleasure of conversation in quite some time outside of the simulacrum, and Joy is mostly the only one who speaks to me, and it is exhausting.
As pleasant as Joy is or has been, I can see how that would be a bit of a challenge after a while.
Joy all the time is would be enough to shatter anyone's psyche, I think.
That is an interesting viewpoint, but you would know better than anyone. Exposed to that much joy.
She takes a drink of the wine.
Is it to your satisfaction?
It's quite delightful. Have you tried yours?
Oh, I'm trying to pace myself. I doubt a half CF could truly keep up with a endearing Sphinx as yourself.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Don't want to burn too bright and fizzle out.
As you're making the save, she says, yes, Joy specifically chose quite an interesting wine, specific to Sphinxes, specific to our liking. It can be quite harsh on the mortal.
The 16 on the dice plus 3 is a 19.
19. With a 19, you feel like the alcohol hits you harder than any alcohol that you've ever drank before hits you. So even though it is a success on the Constitution saving throw, Rovick is drunk fairly quickly. You can get the sense like failing a Constitution saving throw with this particular alcohol would be not good for Rovick.
Well, as soon as I feel my head start to swim, I'm going to resort to smelling the wine and swirling it. And I'm not going to be sipping any more of this amazing Sphinx wine.
As we
it's just brandy.
It's just like it's also like wine. I don't know how long wine should sit in a cellar, but this wine has been sitting for 200 years in a cellar. So she kind of finally after you get comfortable and she can see like the flushing of your cheeks from the alcohol, she says, well, I think that between the two of us, you have far less information to share with me than I have offered to share with you. The woman's name.
Yes, I do have a very colored history when it comes to my relationship with my mother. there's a lot there and a lot missing all at the same time. Before I give the name, can I ask, what exactly would you do with that information? How would that benefit you knowing the name of a woman who birthed a half-elf, half-human adventurer for hire?
Would only fill in gaps in a story that I know.
A story that you know.
I'm not a fae. I can't steal her name if that's what you're concerned about.
I've heard stories. You can't help. I mean, you can't fault me for wanting to be a bit cautious.
Of course not.
But also, I'm intrigued enough to actually be here. So, since you inquired and you've stated that you're willing to keep up your end of the bargain, and I'm inclined to believe you since you've been so hospitable so far with us here in your institution. The name of my mother is Leandra. Leandra Vea is her name.
Leandra Vea. And you can almost see, like, in her eyes, like somebody who had a blank in something and you just filled in the blank for them.
See that may have sparked a bit of something, a reaction from you.
Wow.
What's this story that you've heard?
Oh.
About Leandra Vea?
Not so much of her, and not something that I've heard. It's a story of my own.
Oh. What story might that be, if I can ask? And then I'll swirl and sniff the wine again.
Not part of our deal, but perhaps tangential.
Oh.
So, before I came to Highwall, in my younger years, I did much traveling of the plains, exploring this wonderful world the gods created. The mortals who they bequeath with stories and songs. I traveled once to the Plain of Water. Not quite a comfortable place for a Sphinx to go. And
wouldn't imagine.
Found myself in one of the deeper trenches there. A swirling maelstrom around a tower. They call it the Burj Al Wasif, the Tower of Storms.
Tower of Storms.
Home to quite a powerful entity. A regional warlord, as it were, who drove so many other Marids away. If you've ever had the chance to go to Anarvir, you may find one of his refugeed kin there running a casino, I think.
Would Rovick have heard about the Myriad's, what's it called?
Myriad's Wager?
The casino?
I imagine that Rovick has probably traveled to Anarvir at some point. Most people would. But the entity there, the Myriad who controls the Tower of Storms, Al-Bahar, I believe you know him.
I am quite familiar with the Myriad named Al-Bahar, and somehow I think you already knew that.
He has
Lady,
quite a draconic interest in wealth, building a hoard, as it were, in the floors of his temple, in his tower, Specifically, the types of items that a creature like a Merid should not possess. A servant of Ouroboros should most certainly not possess.
Servant of Ouroboros. Now, as familiar as I am with Albahar, I wasn't aware that he held the title of Servant of Ouroboros.
Any master of the Plane of Water would have to, I think, to maintain their seat. We like to believe that those elemental entities locked away somewhere are safe. But they still hold so much sway in those outer wilds. But Albahar wants something powerful from our world to empower himself to carry out his mission. And
what is his ultimate mission? Why is he collecting so many powerful items?
That is a part of the story I do not know. I cannot write endings until they have occurred, of course. But he cannot leave the tower. He cannot leave the plane of water, or else upstart Merid may move into his realm and take what he has so covetously built for so long. So he sends out feelers. He sends out gifts. And they find interestingly susceptible individuals. And for the last 30 years or so, that individual wandered the earth and secured many interesting items for Albahar. Always wearing a mask of many faces, but easily identifiable by those who knew, by those she robbed, like me.
Oh no.
Now that's an interesting story. I'm sorry to hear that that individual would not have recognized your splendor and your graceful forgiveness.
How's the wine, Rovick?
I'm not much of a wine drinker these days, it seems.
And as she was getting to the end of that story, the humanoid form that she had taken still maintains, but the slightly predatory, feline features were coming into the face, and you could see the claws on her hands growing a little bit. She looks far more predatory and dangerous now than she did at the start.
That's interesting to know.
So the question remains, Rovick Seaborn. Now, having given me the name of your mother, the thief of the seas, why are you here, and what do you plan to take from the opal?
Hey, from the opal?
Or from me?
Lady Two Thomas, I think that you have completely the wrong idea of exactly what my motivations are. And I think if you stop and really investigate for a moment, if you knew the true nature of this Merid that you've mentioned, Albahar, his true nature, that if my mother, Leandra Vale, did steal anything from you, that it was 100% through the coercion of Albahar and not of her own free will. And as far as me, while I'm here, I may be tethered to that same myriad, but believe me, my end goal is to topple him from his throne and to kill him by any means that I can find.
In a movement that is faster than you could even see, she has risen from her seat, come to where you are standing, and with a claw lifted you out of your chair. So you are face to face with her.
Nice.
And she's not cutting you, but you can just feel like the pressure of the claw at your neck, just enough to a drop of blood drawn from you.
I believe
If you steal
this is an opportunity,
anything from me and send it in the waves to join the other relics I've already lost, you will not escape my maze, Rovick Seaborn. And you may have honorable intentions, although I doubt that those words have ever been spoken when offering the types of things that you may offer to others. But
what does that mean? Sorry, continue. Huh?
if you are being coerced, I would highly suggest that you hold back while in this valley.
I think that is very wise counsel, and I did not plan to betray the hospitality. You may assume that because of your interactions with my mother that you have an understanding of my own moral code, but I assure you I have certain ways that I go about doing what I do, and anyone that I've ever relieved of their property or their dignity, believe me, they've been more than deserving of losing whatever I may have taken from them.
She runs her claw down across your chest, and not enough to cut, but you can feel that if she put just a little more pressure, that it would slice through your skin. And then she takes a step back in a less threatening way, her feline features reserving back towards the human features. I hope that if your intentions are as they say they are, you may return the items that were stolen from me by your mother to me. Because she did not just steal from me, she also stole from my mate. And while, in a moment, I can be forgiving, and even conciliatory, he cannot. I imagine he still hunts her now. And I would hate the same to be passed to you, as you seem to have taken on the curse yourself.
I appreciate your concern, Miss Tutama. I also see that this is perhaps an opportunity for us to work together. And one thing I've learned in my short time on this world is we're better off with building relationships and partnerships than we are burning bridges and making enemies.
She kind of...
If you'd like me
go ahead.
to try and return the items that were so wrongfully stolen from you, yes, by the hands of my mother, but at the insistence of her unforgiving patron, I will gladly do what I can. But I'm going to be completely honest. The man you see before you is not the man that I once was. I faced Albahar before, and in my attempts to defeat him and liberate my mother from her obligations, he stripped me of the magic that I was able to wield. And the only way I could save my own life was to agree to the same pact that my mother had been forced to agree to. So your concern of me sending items through the waves back to Albahar is part of our arrangement, which I begrudgingly must do, or he has claim over my life and my body. Maybe we could work together to rectify the wrongs that we both face because of Albahar's actions.
She kind of moves towards you and produces a key and drops it in your palm for the library. You may need it when you go. I understand that your life is not yours to control in all moments, but I will reinstate again that your life is yours to lose here. If you steal from me or the opal. Have you carried enough of your bargain with him to make it the few days that you'll be present here without your fingers wandering?
So, but he's quite fickle and can be hard to tell sometimes if he's satiated for the time being or not.
Well, you may discover that helping me will kill two birds with one stone, as the object that was taken from me was one that is used to bind mages and their powers. It looks like it worked quite well against you.
That's interesting to know.
Well, I do not apologize that this is probably not the evening that you had in mind, but...
Oh, this is pretty much what I expected from A Night with the Sphinx.
She stands and...
Sharp claws and...
She begins to kind of like walk backwards a little towards her chambers. It is always a pleasure to talk to one with such a quick mind and a fast wit.
Everything about me is so fast, but guess you won't find that out tonight.
She goes and she walks into her chambers. She doesn't close the door, and petals do appear floating in the air leading into the chamber, but she's left Rovick alone.
Should I stay or should I go?
She left the door open?
The door is open, and those petals reappeared, kind of drifting out of the chamber in your direction.
Well, I mean...
Ronnie, before you make a decision, I'd like to formally retract my previous statements about the situation. I'd like to scrub them from the record.
It wasn't a hard no.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Proceed. I just wanted that on the record.
It's a hard yes.
Rovick will tentatively creep towards the door So actually, just one more question. If you don't mind me invading your
The room is dark.
personal.
Except for you can see the two like floating eyes of Tithalamus in the darkness.
If you don't mind me invading your personal abode here, do you have a moment to entertain another question? And I'll slowly like walk inside.
And as the door closes behind you, and like all you see, like you, and you're swallowed in darkness, you just hear like right at your ear, Tithalamus's voice. I think I'm done speaking for the evening. And we'll go to black.
Yeah.
That's a video game scene.
And we'll go ahead and take a quick 5 minutes and come back with the morning, and where you all decide to go from here, whether it be library, or back into the garden if you'd like. But we'll pick up there in 5.
Thank you,
I
5.
did kind of have a question about the item that's she got stolen from her, but
okay. Yeah. So the next morning arises, and you are all awoken to the smell of food drifting from the main chamber, as a bountiful breakfast has been provided of like delicious fruits and breakfast meats and like scones with like jam and clotted cream and like all of the wonderful things that you could possibly imagine for a delicious breakfast are present when you arrive, with no source clear, as the servants have provided for you without visibility, and you all kind of gather in the chamber the next morning, and the day is ahead of you. What would you like to do?
I don't eat breakfast, but I offer everyone if they want tea. As always, you can partake of the tea.
Bonnie sips her tea.
He's a little like awkward about making tea since there's stuff already made, but he will make it.
we love your tea. Robert will come down.
Okay.
Yeah, Robert comes down, obviously disheveled, and
spitting out feathers like.
Oh,
hi, Robert.
Doesn't say anything. Gonna go right to the table, grab a plate, grab a cup of tea, load it up with food as much as I can carry, sit down, and just start eating.
Oh, you're really hungry today.
Gotta replenish. Just
okay.
face in the plate.
I take like everything on my plate and just like tilt it onto your plate. So we like.
Where do we go next?
Yeah.
Library.
Yeah, because we could maybe look more into the runes in the library.
Josh, can I make an insight check to try to read between the lines on Rovick?
Yeah, sure. And Rovick, you can make either a deception. Well, you make a deception check if you're trying to hide something.
I try to hide anything. Just
then
I got a 4.
A 4, yeah. Rovick just looks like he didn't sleep well.
Are you okay, Rovick?
Yeah, just enjoy my breakfast, buddy.
Oh, you just woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
I woke up on something.
That's strange. The boys were very comfortable.
I slept like a babe.
I don't sleep, but I imagine it would be good for that.
So we're going to the library, Kieran?
That's what I think we should do.
I
That's a
agree.
good point about the runes.
Mr. Kieran always has good push for that kind of thing.
No, good idea. I got a key. We'll be able to get in pretty easy.
Then it's off to the library we're going.
Wait, you have a key?
Yeah, it was Productive night. Just let it go. Just let it go.
You just
Productive
found
night.
a key?
I got a key to the library. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Rovick, you shouldn't wander around after what happened in the maze. It could be
the
dangerous.
maze was the only thing we were warned about. I think anywhere else must have been safe.
That is not true at all. There is no founded fact in that statement, Bonnie.
Well, if it was dangerous, I'm sure that nice Sphinx lady would have told us.
I think that is the opposite of true, ma'am. Respectfully.
There's some pretty unsafe things happened last night. I'll say that. But
Well, Rovick, just don't go key hunting without the rest of us, okay?
I will next time be sure to include you in my key adventures. I'm sure you'd love that in Dual Sight.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, there's some saying about listening at keyholes.
Yeah, you shouldn't do it.
It's pretty rude, you would think, to overhear on people. I look at Rovick.
Well,
What kind of food is there out, Josh? I'm just curious.
What kind of food?
Yeah.
I mean, like anything that you could imagine for breakfast. There's muffins and scones and all kinds of like condiments that you can put on them. There's coffee and water and juices and fresh carved, like a beautiful like bowl of fresh carved fruits.
So it's like the full continental.
Yeah, like
just like
bacon and sausage, and there's eggs, and like it's all there. Yeah, it's a full continental breakfast. Yeah.
Bonnie eats like a lot. Like it's like wow, Bonnie, like holy shit.
like a senior citizen who's taking advantage of their hotel's continental breakfast. Like 100%.
She's not that old, but she's also like, you know,
like a middle-aged woman at a Piccadilly's.
Yeah. And also just like you know, she's kind of modeled after like a Midwesterner. And it's like you're gonna be, you know,
you do not
out plowing the back 40. You gotta like load up on those carbs in the morning.
Midwesterners love nothing more than a good buffet. So.
Yeah.
As we stereotype anyone watching from the Midwest,
I'm mostly from the Midwest, so I think it's okay.
Role play. We don't mean it.
If Tim Waltz is a woman, that's who Bonnie is.
Great, I love it.
All right, so you all finish your breakfast and kind of gather your things and head towards the library, which is just across the courtyard from the dormitory. And so you head out into the bright, sunny morning, blue skies, still that beautiful, like it is a constant 70 degrees with low humidity in this dome at all times. And you make your way across to the library and enter into the top floor. You walk up the steps and into the floor there, and are encountered again with the barren stacks of books, you know, the barren shelves, the circulation desk empty, like there's no books or anything here. So it'll take a little bit of exploration trying to find what Tathalamus said to you all was that it was in the basement, and that there was, the only thing that she informed you is that there was a mysterious cloud that seemed to be kind of pouring from the basement. So you need to kind of search for it. So who would like to do some searching around the library?
Investigation?
Yeah, go ahead, Karen.
Okay, let's roll the green.
Can I assist as I am proficient in investigation?
You may, so Karen can roll with advantage.
And
I'm just like pointing out details.
It's the opening scene of Ghostbusters.
25.
25. Yeah. So
thank you, Ronnie, because my one roll was a 16, the other roll was a 4.
A 4? Oh, gosh.
Nice.
Yeah. So it doesn't take Kieran too long to find the entrance to the basement, but it is in an unexpected place. Like you are searching around like the outer walls, like you guys are walking like kind of up steps to higher platforms and getting a good view of this. There's like a miniature orrery hanging from the ceiling that is catching the light that is coming through like the ceiling the sunlights that are here, and the light from the towers clearly kind of washing across this occasionally, because every now and then the light pouring in will go like different shades of different rainbow colors, and the whole chamber will kind of go red or purple for a moment before it goes back to its neutral sun colors. And you're searching all over the place, Kieran, until finally you like go behind the circulation desk. And you find there's like a slightly covered walkway where somebody who is working the circulation desk could walk down behind the desk and go down into a spiraling staircase that descends deeper into the library. You think like it's probably where like the old stacks are, or where the antique books or the things that need to be kept in a more climate controlled space would be.
Special collection.
The special collections area, the reserved selection, where if somebody needed a book, they could go down there and grab it and bring it back up to the top so that patrons didn't have to go down into that section. And you find the passageway down. What is our marching order going down the stairs?
If Lucky can provide some light, Kieran will go first.
Yeah, Lucky can tap your sword and provide light for you. So then Kieran...
I guess I'll come in next since I'm assisting the investment.
Lucky in the middle, probably.
Bonnie will bring up the rear.
So then Andalus and Bonnie. Yeah. Cool. As you kind of head down, and Kieran, you're guiding the group for a while. As you probably walk like what would be the equivalent of like 5 or 10 stories down on this spiraling staircase that just kind of spirals. And you can tell that the spiral is getting wider as you go, like with each revolution, like the steps are kind of moving further out. So instead of like a straight spiral down, it's spiraling wider. And so it's probably a good 15 minutes or so till you get to finally the bottom. And at the bottom, you see like, or you're approaching the bottom when suddenly there's just this like pool of haze at the covering the base of the stairs that's not rising up out of this chamber, but there's just this purplish blue haze that is filling the area, which now all of you have seen. This is an aether haze that is kind of has flooded the basement level of the library here, and isn't rising up out of the chamber, but is just like you're going to have to walk down into it in order to get to the basement.
We're going to have to walk into the purple haze.
Breathe deep. So you guys kind of dive in, and immediately like your vision goes from what would be considered like, like full normal vision down to like half of your normal vision. So if you typically have 60 feet of vision, you're now looking at 30 feet. And it's because the haze is so thick here. It's the thickest that you've ever seen the haze building up in an area. And as soon as you get under the haze, like there's kind of the sound becomes muffled. Everybody who has access to magic, you can just feel like the tingling on your skin of this magical essence surrounding you. And there is finally, Kieran, once you descend into the haze, you can see a doorway in front of you. And it's not locked. You can push it open if you like. But other than that, like this walkway ends there at that door.
I suppose we have to go through. There's nowhere else to go.
All right. So with that in mind, let me switch the view for you all a little bit.
Oh boy, here we go.
As you walk into the chamber, and you are looking at a hallway, but you can't see very far. Whoops, why did I just do that? I turned off the background and then I kept it. Okay. You are looking at a hallway, and you can only see about 30 feet down the hallway as the haze kind of pours around you in this chamber. I had you all in the hallway, but like Kieran's at the far end of it, so 30 feet as far down as Kieran can see. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, Kieran.
Okay, perception.
And if anybody else, Bonnie, do you have advantage on perception checks with sound?
I don't think so, but let me check. Wait.
I don't know if that's a Harengon feature or not. You have the ears, you'd think you would, but.
I rolled a 3, so that's an 8.
An 8, okay.
I just have proficiency on perception.
Okay, so you can go ahead and roll a perception check but just for your your hearing or your listening here. Yeah, Kieran, you're kind of looking in, and it's like the haze is kind of moving through the chamber, and every now and then you'll think that you're seeing like a shape forming out of the haze, like moving down the hallway towards you, and you like kind of brace yourself for it, but it's just a shadow playing in the haze. But you're kind of puts you on high alert as you start moving through.
I got a 10, Josh. So
a 10. Yeah, like the sound is really muffled here. It's very hard for you to hear. But you guys have this in front of you. You know that whatever you're looking for is somewhere here in the basement. So if you'd like to move forward, you can.
Do we see any doors off to either side?
Yeah, no. As far as you can see, it's just straight walls and a straight hallway that goes down as far as you can see 30 feet.
You know, I've not been in many libraries, but this sure doesn't feel like the standard kind of basement you'd find in an establishment like this.
I'm going to go slowly checking for traps along the way.
Okay, make a perception check or investigation if you like perception to see where traps are located, but investigation will move you slower.
I would prefer investigation.
Okay, you can do that.
Is Lucky giving him guidance?
Yeah, sure. You can add a D4 to it.
Jace says that a fair amount.
Yeah, so for the next minute, Kieran, you'll have guidance on any checks that are using your...
How much is guidance?
A D4. For any... it'll affect your investigation checks, but not perception checks, because it can only affect one ability score.
Investigation is 24.
24, okay, good. So as you're kind of moving, Kieran, you're kind of like... keying into the fighter instinct of paying attention to your surroundings. And you don't notice any like traps or any mechanisms or anything as you're moving through. And so you cover the first 30 feet and
Can you tilt the camera up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm going to. As you move forward, you discover it's kind of hard to see, but you're at a T intersection, and then the fog kind of closes in behind you. So you guys can only see this section here that you're at, but there's a T intersection in front of you. And so you have a path off to the left or a path off to the right.
Josh, can I use Staff of Flowers real quick?
Yeah, sure.
And I'm going to make 5 daisies.
Okay.
And I'm going to drop a petal every step I take.
Okay. So you start pulling off the petals and dropping them as you go. As you kind
I love me, I love me not. Me.
Oh my God. What a terrible game.
Yeah, but you've got this left or right up ahead of you, Kieran. And Bonnie, like the vision closes in behind you. You can no longer see the door that you all traveled through.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to hang left.
You're going to hang left? Okay.
Is it possible
Everybody put your hand on the person's shoulder in front of you.
Okay. Is it possible for me to use shape water to like help with the investigation or the perception?
How will that help?
However shape water works, I don't know. I can shape water, I don't know. Choose an area of water you see within 5 feet, a 5-foot cube, manipulate in the following ways, move or change the flow of water in direction. Is the mist considered water?
No, because this is not aerosoled water. Yeah. So Kieran, as you hang to the left, there is a hallway that goes straight down this way that you can see for about 30 feet going that way. There's another hallway that kind of cuts this way that you can see down about 30 feet. And the first thing that you do notice are like to the right, you can see down a little bit, and you can see that there are two figures kind of shadowied in the haze, but they do look like statues. That are kind of at the end of your vision there, just like these two like statues, kind of like one's frozen, like looking like it was walking in a direction, and the other one is kind of like in the process of like turning, like these two statues that were carved of like people. But in the haze, it's weird because, like, you know, like how like a white statue will take on the colors of whatever's around it. So these two statues are just like purple and blue in the haze. Yeah.
I think we should check those out.
Okay. So somebody goes back to gets close to them, and what you immediately notice, Kieran, as you're looking at them, is that you've seen things like this before. In the base of the Leonin chamber, where all of that aether had been gathered, those crystalline humanoid constructions that were moving, but here are like frozen in the haze. They look very similar. So like that humanoid appearance, but like almost like a mannequin-like face where there's the hint of a nose or a mouth, but ultimately not human. It is a construction that is trying to appear human, but is clearly not.
Are they holding anything?
No. So they're both like one looks like it was carved mid-walk, and the other one is just like carved mid-turn, but they are not holding anything in their hands.
Anyone got any ideas?
Oh, and you can see far enough down this path. There's one more down this way.
Well, we won't know until we try. Rovick's gonna step out in front and approach the statue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of move up to where Kieran is, and you're getting close to them. This is you've seen these from a distance because I guess the statued ones were still in the chamber, but had been like locked to the ground. You get up close to them, and there's just like this crystalline structure of, it looks like a statue that was carved out of like amethyst, but with the types of proportions and look that it's like there's no way human hands could have carved this. Like it looks almost like human, but is made out of crystal. And you're just you get up close to their face, and both of them are just still frozen. The one like in its walking move, and the other one like half turned, its head cocked over its shoulder a little bit, like it was turning around.
Josh.
Yeah.
Could I make a roll to see if these are statues or if these are people who have been frozen by some magical means?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
No, not
That's
great.
a good one. That's a good idea.
That is magic. You could ask your good pal Andulicite to roll it for you.
Bine's going to mention this to Andulicite.
Yeah. He also doesn't fucking know. He got an 8.
Okay. Yeah. You're not sure. You've only seen them now twice. And last time you saw them, like half of the ones or most of the ones that you saw were like disintegrated into dust and swirled into that vortex. And the other ones just kind of looked like gemstone carvings when they froze. And these are looking more like that. And when those other ones became dust, like Kieran collected the dust in a vial. It wasn't like bone dust. It wasn't like, like a person that had been dusted, but you're not sure.
Right. I was kind of wondering about the age of it, like whether this happened closer to the area being created or something like that.
Yeah, you're not sure. The only place that you've seen this has been in a place where this haze has appeared. And like Lucky knows, and Rovick probably knows as well, that the Aether Haze has only been present on the planet for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know the effects of the haze? If you've
Rovick and
exposed to it?
Andalus and Lucky have all been exposed to it, and it has a potentially dampening or potentially beneficial effect on magic. But other than that, you're not sure.
So we should probably be careful if we're casting anything down here.
Yes.
Okay. You want to move forward?
Keep on moving on.
Kieran, there's a hall that goes straight this way, or there's a hallway that goes this way in the direction that you were continuing to travel. One has one of those statues in it. The other one does not.
My screen is fuzzing. It's just doing cycling things I'm no longer seeing.
Oh, no. The hallway straight ahead, for like when you turn to the left, if you kept going straight, that hallway is clear.
I'm gonna do the loop. So basically, where we went up, took a left. I'm gonna take another immediate left
And come
basically
down?
zigzagging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you all come down this way. That closes off this section from view for all of you. He pulls down about 30 more feet this way. Kieran, there's another one of those statues further down. This section kind of gets closed off a little bit. And Bonnie, as you kind of turn around the corner and you're all beginning to the loop down, you like turn and you start to walk down, and with the 10 that you rolled on your sound-based perception, you just hear the sound of like footsteps on pavement. And Bonnie, you turn around to see
The statues have moved.
those two
behind
statues
us.
have moved closer to you as you moved away out of the haze, and are beginning to kind of close in. And that's where we will pick up next week.
Yep.
But they're not being they're not
Weeping angels.
They're
You've
not-
given us weeping angels.
they're not being aggressive yet or currently.
Yeah, they're just
but
friends.
they
Exactly.
moved towards you, like you were catching them in mid movement when they saw you and they froze, right? Or like seeing them froze. Yeah,
Weeping angels.
yeah, they're like weeping angels. Yeah. This is like a nightmare to try to keep the area hidden from you all. But
Crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
We gotta get you some
It's gonna be
cotton.
fun.
cotton.
Yeah, so a lot of guys like cotton or the cobwebs that people use for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Oh,
like,
they'll use it for
stretch it.
fog of war. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I would try like. You're getting the sense this is like a maze setup, so it's like I'm trying to keep the parts
We
of it
can't see
hidden from you, so you
everything
can't
at
see
all
everything all at
times.
once. Yeah,
Everything doesn't get revealed. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't
but
like
let's see.
this.
Bonnie was at the
Yeah.
back. Yeah, Bonnie was at the. Okay, cool. Yep. All
Oh
right.
boy.
All right, Jay.
Yay.
All right.
I
What
love
an
it.
eventful session.
I know, I
Yes.
love
I
it.
know.
Another
I'm excited to
Ronnie
see Kieran
RP.
use that new. No. I'm excited to see Kieran use that new polished blade.
Are you saying
The
that
wooden
because
blade
we're
he's
gonna
made.
fight a Sphinx husband? Just kidding.
Don't worry about the
yeah.
weeping angels right now.
I will say, Kieran, what you do notice in this chamber is that the blue veining on your blade is slightly glowing in here.
Ooh, cool. I love it.
Cool.
What type of wood did Kieran pick out? Okay.
He had that wood from Mount Makta.
Yay. I love it.
That's interesting.
All right. Wow. Well, I need to go think about what we've done.
I love it.
And I had a show and strike, so I'm gonna go crash.
Yeah.
You go crash.
Yeah. Get some rest, Rob.
Thank you.
It was
See y'all
good
later.
seeing you guys. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.